Maya Robinson wiped down the counter of her small cafe for the third time that evening. The space was modest, 12 tables, mismatched chairs, walls painted a cheerful yellow that she'd done herself. It wasn't much, but it was hers. Well, mostly hers. The landlord still owned the building and loved reminding her of that fact every month when rent was due. Tonight was slow, just a few regulars nursing drinks and scrolling through their phones. And him, the man in the corner booth, who'd been coming every night for 2 weeks. Always alone. Always in an expensive black suit that probably cost more than her monthly revenue. Always ordering a single Americano that he never drank. Maya had noticed him immediately, not because he was handsome, though he was in that sharp, dangerous way some men carried, but because he looked so profoundly alone. Like someone carrying a weight no one else could see. Her regulars had started whispering, "That's him. Don't stare. Don't talk to him." But Maya didn't know who him was, and honestly, she didn't care. In her cafe, everyone was just a person. Just someone who might need coffee, or kindness, or both. Tonight, she made a decision that would change everything. Kind Min-jin sat in the corner booth, staring at nothing. The coffee in front of him had gone cold an hour ago. He came here because it was quiet. Because no one here knew him, or so he'd thought. In his world, silence meant danger or respect. In this cafe, it just meant peace. For 2 weeks, he'd escaped here after brutal meetings and impossible decisions. After ordering executions and negotiating territories, after being the man everyone feared. Here, he could be nothing. Just a tired man in a corner. The cafe owner had never bothered him, never asked questions. Just brought his coffee with a small smile and left him alone. He appreciated that. His phone buzzed. Another crisis. Another betrayal to manage. Min-jin's jaw tightened. 3 weeks ago, his cousin, the person he'd trusted most, had tried to take over his organization. The coup had failed, but the betrayal had succeeded in breaking something inside him. Trust. Hope. The belief that anyone cared about him beyond what he could provide. He reached for the coffee, then stopped. What was the point? He didn't even like coffee. He just needed somewhere to sit, where people didn't flinch when he entered, where he could pretend, for an hour, to be normal. "You look sad."
This is so good.
The voice
Yeah,
startled
Mom,
him.
it's
The cafe
delicious.
owner
I'm
stood
glad you
beside
like
his
it, sweetie.
table,
I
dish
love it.
towel over her shoulder, expression open and genuine. "You should get yourself a snack." The cafe went silent. Maya didn't notice immediately. She was focused on the man's face, which had gone from carefully blank to something like shock. Behind her, she heard chairs scraping. Felt the shift in energy, footsteps moving toward the exit. "Ma'am?" A sharp voice. One of 2 men who'd been sitting near the door, men Maya had assumed were regulars, stood up. They wore dark suits, had earpieces, looked like security. "Oh, it's fine." The man in the corner, Min-jin, according to the name she'd seen on his credit card, raised one hand slightly. The 2 men froze, then sat back down. Maya looked between them, confused. "Did I say something wrong?" "No one talks
We need
to
to
him like
resolve
that,"
this
someone
now.
whispered behind
I'm
her.
listening. What are
"Who
your
is he?"
terms?
Drop the
Maya
charges
asked, still
and we walk
standing by
away.
his table. No one answered. The cafe had emptied by half. Min-jin studied her with dark, unreadable eyes. "You don't know who I am." It wasn't a question. Should I? Most people in this city do. "Well, I'm not from here originally. I just moved to Seoul 2 years ago to open this place." She gestured around at her little cafe. "So no, I don't know you. But I know sad when I see it. And you, sir, look like you're carrying the whole world." Something flickered across his face. Pain? Surprise? He looked down at his untouched coffee. "Why would you say that to me?" "Because it's true, and because nobody should sit alone looking that miserable without at least having a good snack to help." For 2 weeks, Min-jin had watched her, the cafe owner who smiled at everyone, who remembered regular customers' names, who gave free coffee to the elderly man who came in every morning with barely enough change. She treated everyone the same, with warmth and respect that seemed genuine. No fear, no calculation, just kindness. He'd forgotten people like that existed. In his world, every smile had an agenda. Every kindness had a price. Every word was measured for advantage. "The coffee," he said finally. "You noticed I don't drink it." "Hard not to notice. You've ordered the same thing for 2 weeks and haven't taken a single sip." "I was starting to think my coffee was terrible." "It's not about the coffee." "Then what's it about?" Maya pulled out the chair across from him. Bold move that made his security tense again, and sat down. Because if you don't like coffee, I make excellent tea, and my brownies are actually pretty amazing. But you just sit here staring at nothing, and honestly, it's concerning. You're concerned about me? Should I not be? You're a customer, a regular one. Of course, I'm concerned when you look like your world is ending. Minjin almost laughed. His world was ending. Had been for weeks. Power struggles, betrayal, assassination attempts. His organization was fracturing, and he was barely holding it together. I'm fine, he lied. You're a terrible liar, Maya said bluntly. Whatever's bothering you, it's big, and I'm not going to pretend I can fix it. But I can offer you actual food, something sweet. Sometimes that helps. Does it? It helped me when I lost my brother. Doesn't make the pain go away. But it reminds you that small things can still be good. The mention of loss shifted something. Minjin looked at this woman, this stranger who just sat at his table uninvited and offered him brownies like that could solve anything, and saw genuine empathy. You lost your brother. 3 years ago. Car accident. It's why I moved here actually. Needed a fresh start. Couldn't stay in Atlanta with all those memories. She smiled sadly. So I took my insurance money and opened this place. It's not much, but it's mine. And it's quiet. Peaceful. I like that about it. I'm sorry for your loss. Thank you, but we were talking about you and your sadness, so here's what we're going to do. Maya stood up and pointed at the display case. You're gonna actually eat something. Pick whatever looks good, and I'm going to make you a proper cup of coffee, or tea if you prefer, and you're gonna drink it while it's hot. I don't need. With respect, sir, you've been coming here for 2 weeks looking like death. I'm concerned. As the cafe owner and as a human being, so humor me. Pick a snack. It was so absurd that Minjun found himself standing up and walking to the display case. His security looked confused. His second-in-command, Taiyang, who'd been sitting by the door disguised as a regular customer, looked alarmed. But Minjun ignored them all and studied the pastries. The brownies, Maya said. Trust me, they're chocolate therapy. Chocolate therapy? Exactly what it sounds like. When the world is terrible, chocolate helps. Against every instinct, Minjin nodded. The brownie, then. Excellent choice. Now sit, I'll bring it over. And he did. The most feared man in Seoul sat back down in his corner booth and waited for a brownie like a normal person. Maya brought over the brownie on a small plate with a fresh cup of coffee. This time, a different blend, richer and smoother. Try this one. It's my special blend, less bitter. She set it down and started to walk away. Wait. Minjin's voice stopped her. Why do you care? You don't know me. For all you know, I could be dangerous. Are you? Yes. The word was flat, honest, terrifying. Maya considered this, then shrugged. Everyone's dangerous in the right circumstances. I'm dangerous when someone threatens my cafe or my customers. Doesn't mean I'm not also human. That's naive. Maybe. Or maybe it's choosing to see people as people first. You've been coming here for 2 weeks. You've never been rude, never caused problems. You're quiet, polite, and you tip well. So yeah, I'm gonna treat you like a human who's having a rough time. She smiled. Besides, dangerous people are still people. They still get sad, still need snacks.
It's nice to just
still
sit
deserve
and enjoy
basic
the
kindness.
moment.
Something in Minjin's chest cracked. Just slightly. Just enough to hurt. He picked up the coffee and took a sip. It was good. Really good. Then he took a bite of the brownie. The chocolate was rich, slightly bitter, perfectly sweet. And for the first time in weeks, Minjin felt something other than rage and grief. He felt human. It's good, he said quietly. Maya beamed. Told you, chocolate therapy never fails. She walked away, leaving Minjin alone with his brownie and coffee. Behind him, Taeyang looked stunned. No one talked to their boss like that. No one. But she had. And he'd listened. Minjin finished the entire brownie, drank all the coffee while it was hot, then sat there for another hour, not because he was hiding from his world, but because the cafe felt safe. When he finally left, he paused at the counter. Maya was cleaning the espresso machine, humming softly. Thank you, he said. She looked up, surprised. For what? The brownie? For treating
I have
me
to
like
say,
a
this place
person.
has such a lovely
Of
vibe.
course.
The staff
That's
is
what
so
you are, isn't
friendly,
it?
and the
Most
atmosphere
people
was
would
just
disagree.
perfect.
Then
I have
most
to say,
people
this
aren't
place
looking
has such
properly.
a lovely
Have a
vibe.
good night,
The
sir.
staff is so friendly,
Minjin?
and the
My
atmosphere
name
is
is
just
Minjin.
perfect.
Maya, nice to officially meet you. He nodded and left. Outside, his security team immediately surrounded him. Taeyang looked concerned. Sir, that was unusual. I know. She doesn't know who you are. Should we inform her? For security purposes? No. Leave her alone. But sir, that's an order. She's off limits. Completely. Understand? Yes, sir. Minjin got into his car, and for the first time in weeks, he wasn't thinking about betrayal or power struggles or violence. He was thinking about a woman who'd looked at him and seen sadness instead of fear, who'd offered him chocolate instead of deference, who'd treated him like he mattered as a person, not as a boss. It was intoxicating and dangerous. Because now he wanted to go back, not to hide, but to see her again, to feel human again, even if just for an hour. That night, Minjin sat in his penthouse office, staring at reports he should be reading. Territory disputes, financial statements, intelligence about rival organizations. Instead, he kept thinking about Maya's words. Nobody should sit alone, looking that miserable, without at least having a good snack to help. So simple, so absurdly kind. His cousin's betrayal had taught him that everyone wanted something. Everyone had an angle. Everyone was calculating advantage. But Maya hadn't wanted anything, hadn't even known who he was. She'd just seen someone sad and offered chocolate. Sir? Taeyang entered with the nightly briefing. The Park family is moving on our southern territory. We need to respond. Handle it. Also, there's been chatter about the cafe. People noticed you stayed longer tonight. They're asking questions. Minjin's expression hardened. What kind of questions? About the owner. About why you're spending time there. Some think it's a business meeting location. Others, he trailed off. Others what? Think you're interested in the woman. And that makes her a target, sir. If our enemies think she matters to you, she doesn't matter to me. She's just a cafe owner. With respect, sir, you spent 2 hours there tonight. You never spend that long anywhere outside of business. Minjin knew Taeyang was right. By showing any attention, any pattern, he'd potentially put Maya in danger. The smart thing would be to stay away, to let her cafe fade back into anonymity. But the thought of never going back made him feel hollow. The next morning, Maya arrived at her cafe to find something unusual. Multiple luxury black SUVs parked outside. Her stomach dropped. This couldn't be good. As she approached her door, men in dark suits materialized from the vehicles. 6 of them, all watching her. Miss Robinson? The tallest one stepped forward. We need to talk. About what? I haven't done anything wrong. You're not in trouble. Our employer wanted to ensure your safety. Safety? What are you talking about? The man's expression remained neutral. You may not be aware, but the gentleman who visits your cafe nightly is Kang Min-jun. He's significant, and his enemies have noticed his pattern of visiting here. We've been assigned to ensure nothing happens to you or your establishment. Maya's mind raced. Wait, Min-jun, the sad guy who likes brownies? Despite the seriousness, one of the guards almost smiled. That's one description, yes. What's another description? He runs the largest criminal organization in Seoul. The words hit like a physical blow. Criminal organization, Mafia. The quiet, sad man she'd been feeding brownies was a mob boss. Oh my God. We're not here to frighten you, just to provide security, discreet security. You won't notice us, but we'll be watching. Watching for what? Threats, rival organizations, anyone who might use you to get to him. But we're not, I just sold him a brownie. Which makes you the first person in 3 years to treat him like a normal human being. That alone makes you significant. The guard paused. Mr. Kang wanted you to know that your rent has been paid for the next year. All building debts cleared. Your landlord will no longer bother you. Consider it gratitude for your kindness. Maya spent the morning in shock, her cafe filled with regular customers, but she barely processed the orders. Her mind was stuck on one impossible fact. Min-jun was a criminal, a powerful one, and she'd told him to get a snack. Oh God, she muttered to herself while making a latte. I told a mob boss he looked sad. What is wrong with me? But then she remembered his face, the genuine surprise, the way he'd eaten the brownie instead of just staring into space, the way he'd said thank you, like those words cost him something. He'd still been a person, sad, lonely, carrying unbearable weight. Did it matter what he did for a living? Maya wrestled with that question all day. By evening, she had her answer. Yes, it mattered. But also no, it didn't. Because in her cafe, in those moments, he'd just been a tired man who needed kindness. And she'd given it. No agenda. No fear. Just humanity. That evening, Minjin arrived at his usual time. The cafe had a few customers who quickly made excuses to leave when they saw him. Maya watched this happen and felt a spike of protective anger. "Stop that," she said loudly. The remaining customers froze. "Stop leaving just because he walked in. This is a cafe. Everyone is welcome. Everyone gets treated the same. So sit down, finish your drinks, and act like normal humans." She turned to Minjun. "You, corner booth, I'll bring your coffee." He looked stunned, but he went to his corner. Maya made his coffee, her special blend, and brought it over with another brownie. "On the house. You know who I am now." It wasn't a question. "Yep, apparently you're a big deal, a scary big deal. And you're still talking to me. Why wouldn't I? You're still you, still sad, still needing snacks." Minjin didn't know what to say. He'd expected fear, anger, demands, not this casual acceptance. "I could be dangerous to you. Your security people already told me, said enemies might target me. I'm choosing to not live in fear of hypothetical threats." Maya sat down across from him again, making it clear this was becoming their thing. "Besides, I've been thinking about it all day, and here's what I decided. I don't care what you do out there." She gestured vaguely at the world outside. "In here, you're just Minjun, a customer, someone who's going through something hard. And I'm just Maya, someone who makes coffee and brownies. That's it. That's not how my world works." "Then maybe your world is wrong, or at least incomplete." She leaned forward. "Look, I'm not naive. I know what you probably do. I know it's not legal. I know it's dangerous, but I also know that everyone deserves basic human kindness, even people who've made questionable choices." Questionable is generous. Okay, definitely bad choices, but still, you're a human being. You get sad, you sit alone in cafes, you needed someone to tell you to eat a snack. That's human. I'm not going to stop being kind just because your job is scary. Minjun felt something unfamiliar. Hope. "Why? Because kindness costs me nothing, and it clearly meant something to you. That's enough. My enemies will see this. See you. They'll think you're a weakness. Let them think what they want. You can protect yourself. You've been doing it long enough, I assume. And you? I'll protect myself too. I'm tougher than I look." She smiled. "Now eat your brownie and drink your coffee while those are the rules in my cafe." Over the next week, a pattern developed. Minjin came every evening. Maya brought him coffee and something sweet. They talked, brief conversations about nothing important. Weather, coffee preferences, Maya's plans to expand her menu. Normal things that felt extraordinary to Minjin. Because he couldn't remember the last time he'd had a normal conversation. The last time someone had asked him what he thought about something that wasn't territory or money or violence. Maya asked if he preferred dark chocolate or milk chocolate, if he liked jazz music, if he'd ever traveled for fun instead of business. Small questions that made him feel human. "Why do you ask these things?" he said one evening. "Because I'm curious. Because you're interesting when you're not being scary and mysterious." "I'm always scary and mysterious." "Not to me. To me, you're just Minjun who has very strong opinions about chocolate ratios and brownies." He'd smiled at that. Actually smiled. His security team had noticed. Taeyang had pulled him aside. "Sir, you're different lately. Lighter, is it the cafe?" "It's her. She doesn't treat me like a monster. She doesn't know everything you've done. She knows enough. She's choosing kindness anyway." But the peace couldn't last. Minjin knew this. His world didn't allow for soft things, for kindness without cost, for connections that weren't strategic. The attack came on a Tuesday. Not against him, against Maya. 3 men walked into her cafe at closing time. They weren't customers. Maya was cleaning up when they entered. The cafe was empty. She always closed at 9. "Sorry, we're closed," she said without looking up. "You're Maya Robinson." The voice was cold. She looked up then. 3 men. Expensive suits. Hard expressions. Not Minjin's people. She'd learned to recognize his security team. These were different. Dangerous. "Who's asking?" "Someone who wants to send a message to Kang Minjin." Her stomach dropped. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Shh, don't lie. Everyone knows he comes here. Everyone knows he's been acting strange because of you. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to tell him that the Park family controls this territory now, that his protection ends here." "I'm not telling him anything. I just run a cafe." "Then we'll make sure he gets the message another way." One of them pulled out a lighter. Nice place. Would be a shame if something happened to it. Before Maya could react, the cafe door burst open. Minjin's security team flooded in, 8 of them, moving with military precision. Step away from her. Taeyang's voice was cold. Now. We're just delivering a message. The only message being delivered tonight is mine. Minjin appeared in the doorway. He looked different, colder, harder. This was the man everyone feared. You came into my territory, threatened someone under my protection. That was a mistake. The Park family has just declared war. Fine. I accept. Minjin's voice was ice. But you made one critical error. You came here, to her cafe, her safe place, that I cannot forgive. What happened next was swift and controlled. The 3 men were subdued and removed. Maya stood behind her counter, shaking. Minjin approached her carefully. Are you hurt? No, just scared. They were going to burn my cafe. They won't touch anything, I promise. Why is this happening? I just make coffee. Because they saw that I care, that you matter to me, and in my world, that makes you a target. His expression was pained. I'm sorry, I should have stayed away. That night, Minjin couldn't sleep. He'd stationed permanent guards around Maya's cafe, had made it clear to every organization in Seoul she was off limits, completely, but it wasn't enough. As long as he kept visiting, she'd be a target. His vulnerability, his weakness. The smart thing, the right thing, would be to cut ties. Never go back. Let her fade back into anonymity. But the thought of losing that small piece of humanity, that one place where he could be normal, felt unbearable. The next morning, he made a decision that would change everything. He bought the entire building. Not through intermediaries or shell companies. Directly. In his name. Then he bought the 3 buildings surrounding it. Created a secure zone. Sir, that's gonna draw attention, Taeyang warned. Good. I want attention. I want every organization in this city to know. That cafe, that block, that woman, untouchable. Anyone who disagrees can face me directly. You're declaring her important? I'm declaring her protected. There's a difference. Is there? Minjin didn't answer. That afternoon, Maya arrived at her cafe to find construction crews outside. What's happening? Improvements, ma'am, one worker said. New security system, reinforced windows, better locks, orders from the new building owner. Who's the new owner? Kang Min-jun. Maya closed her eyes. Of course he did. She walked inside and found Min-jun sitting in his usual corner booth. We need to talk, she said. I know. You bought my building. Yes, and the surrounding buildings. Security perimeter. That's insane. That's necessary. After last night, you should have stopped coming here. That's what makes sense. Maya's voice rose. Instead, you're doubling down, making me even more of a target? No, I'm making you too expensive a target. Now everyone knows attacking you means attacking me. Directly. Most won't risk that. Most? I can't guarantee everyone, but I can make the cost prohibitive. Maya sat down heavily. This is crazy. You're upending your entire organization for a cafe. For me. Why? Because I don't want to lose the only place I can be human. Minjin's voice was quiet but intense. Because you asked me if I preferred dark chocolate or milk chocolate. Because you noticed I looked sad. Because you treated me like I mattered beyond what I could provide. You do matter. You're a person. Not in my world. In my world, I'm a tool. A weapon. A source of fear and power. But here, he gestured around the small cafe. Here I'm just Minjin. Someone who needs snacks and coffee and conversation that isn't about death or money. That's not sustainable. I know, but I'm trying anyway. Because 3 weeks ago, I was ready to... He stopped. To what? To stop, to end it. The weight was too much. The betrayal, the violence, the isolation. I saw no point in continuing. Maya's breath caught. You were suicidal? I was considering my options. Then you told me to get a snack. And for the first time in months, I laughed. Actually, laughed at the absurdity of it. This tiny woman telling the most feared man in Seoul to eat chocolate. It was so ridiculous, so human, that it reminded me why living might be worth it. Tears filled Maya's eyes. Oh, Minjin. So yes, I bought your building. Yes, I'm making you a target. But I'm also making you untouchable. Because I'm selfish. Because I need this place. Need you. Need to remember that I'm more than just the monster everyone sees. You're not a monster. I am. But with you I can pretend I'm not. Just for an hour each day. That's worth any cost. The declaration changed everything. within 48 hours, every criminal organization in Seoul understood. Kang Minjun had claimed the cafe and its owner under personal protection. Some saw weakness, most saw danger. He's never done this before, a rival boss muttered. Protected someone who isn't family or business. She must be important, or he's finally lost it. Either way, it's an opportunity. The Park family, still smarting from their men being removed from the cafe, decided to test Minjun's resolve. Not directly. They were smarter than that. They started a whisper campaign, rumors about Maya, about whom she really was, what her past might hide, suggestions that she was using Minjun, playing him, making him weak. The rumors reached Minjun through his intelligence network. He called a meeting. Every major player in his organization attended. You've heard the rumors, Minjun said without preamble. About the cafe owner, about me, about my judgment being compromised. Murmurs of acknowledgement. Let me be clear. Maya Robinson is under my direct protection. Not because she's valuable to the organization, not because she provides strategic advantage, but because she matters to me. Personally. The room went silent. Anyone who questions this, leave now. No repercussions, no hard feelings, but if you stay, you accept my decision. All of it. No one moved. Good, because here's what's going to happen. The Park family thinks they can use her against me. They're wrong. Any action against her will be met with total retaliation, no mercy, no negotiation. They touch her cafe, I take their territory. They threaten her, I eliminate their leadership. This is not a bluff. Taeyang spoke up carefully. Sir, that's a significant escalation. I know. Spread the word. Make it clear. After the meeting, Taeyang approached privately. You're risking everything for her. I know. Why? Minjun thought about Maya's smile, about chocolate therapy, about feeling human. Because she saw me when everyone else just saw a monster. That's worth risking everything. Maya's cafe had never been so popular, or so empty. People came to look, to take pictures, to say they'd visited the place where Kang Minjun came every night. But they didn't stay. The cafe had become a spectacle, a symbol. Not a safe space anymore. Maya hated it. This isn't what I wanted, she told Minjun one evening. They were alone, his security had cleared the place. I just wanted a quiet cafe, a peaceful life. Now I'm famous for all the wrong reasons. I'm sorry. Are you? Because it seems like you've decided to claim me publicly, like I'm territory, property. That's not. What is it then? Explain it to me, Minjun. Because from where I'm sitting, you've turned my cafe into a fortress and me into a symbol of your power. How is that different from what you said you don't want to be? He had no answer. Because she was right. I never wanted to hurt you. I just wanted to protect you. By making me more visible, more valuable, that's not protection, that's possession. Then tell me what you want, I'll do it, anything. Maya looked at this powerful, dangerous man who'd somehow become important to her. I want my cafe back. I want to serve coffee without armed guards outside. I want customers who come for the coffee, not the spectacle. I want... She paused. I want you to still visit, but not like this, not as the great Kang Minjun making a statement. Just as Minjun, the sad guy who likes brownies. I don't know if that's possible anymore. Then figure it out, because what we have now, this isn't sustainable. This isn't life. This is performance. That night, Minjun made another impossible decision. He would have to change everything, not just his protection strategy. Everything. For the only person who made him feel human. Over the next 2 months, something extraordinary happened. Minjun began systematically legitimizing his operations. Not all of them. He wasn't naive enough to think he could go fully legal, but the worst aspects, the most violent parts, he dismantled. He created legitimate businesses, invested in legal ventures, slowly shifted his organization's focus from pure criminal enterprise to something greater but less violent. Why are you doing this? His lieutenants asked. Strategic repositioning, he said. But they all knew the real reason, a small cafe and its owner. Maya watched these changes from a distance. Minjun still came every evening, but differently now. Fewer bodyguards, less spectacle, more normal. You're changing your entire organization, she said one night. Are you? Yes. That's too much responsibility. I can't be the reason you. You're not the reason. You're the reminder. The reminder that there's more to existence than power and fear. That humanity still matters. And if I can't live up to that, What if I'm just a regular person who makes coffee? You are just a regular person who makes coffee. That's exactly why you matter. Because you prove that regular kindness still exists, still has power. Maya felt tears prick her eyes. I don't know how to navigate your world, Minjun. You don't have to. I'm changing my world to fit yours, not the other way around. That's impossible. Watch me. 3 months after Maya told him to get a snack, Minjun had transformed his organization. Was it perfect? No. Legal? Mostly. Safe? Safer. And every evening he sat in her cafe, not as a feared mafia boss, but as a man who'd found humanity in an unexpected place. Dark chocolate or milk chocolate today? Maya asked, smiling. Dark. Always dark. Good choice. Coming right up. The Park family made one final push. A last attempt to prove Minjun had gone soft. They hit one of his legitimate businesses, caused chaos, demanded response. Minjun responded, but not with overwhelming violence, not with the brutal retaliation they expected. He used legal channels, exposed their corruption through official means, brought authorities down on their operations, dismantled them without firing a single shot. The underground was stunned. Kang Minjun is using lawyers? He's gone completely soft. But they were wrong. Minjun had just gotten smarter, more strategic, more controlled. Violence is easy, he told his organization. Real power is achieving your goals without it. The Park family is destroyed. I didn't lose a single man. Didn't risk retaliation, used the system against itself. Taeyang smiled. The cafe owner taught you that. She taught me that there are other ways to be strong, that humanity isn't weakness. That night, Minjun arrived at the cafe to find Maya closing up. Am I too late? For coffee? Yes. For conversation? Never. She let him in, locking the door behind them. I heard about the Park family, how you handled it. Smarter, not harder. Someone once told me chocolate therapy fixes everything. I applied that philosophy to business. That's not what I meant. I know, but you weren't wrong. Sometimes the gentler approach is more effective. They sat in comfortable silence, just two people who'd somehow changed each other's lives. Minjun? Yes? Thank you. For what? For proving that change is possible. For showing me that kindness matters, even in dark places. Thank you for seeing me as human first. It saved my life. Literally? In every way that matters. 6 months after Maya told Kang Minjun to get a snack, the city had learned a new truth. The fearsome mafia boss who everyone whispered about now spent his evenings in a small cafe, eating brownies and drinking coffee.
I can't imagine my life
no
without
visible
you.
guards,
You don't have
no
to, I'm right
intimidation,
here.
just a
To
man
us.
who'd found
To
peace.
us.
Maya's cafe was thriving again. Customers returned, drawn by the quality coffee and warm atmosphere. Some came hoping to see Minjun, but he'd become almost ordinary in his consistency, just another regular. I still can't believe this is my life, Maya said one evening, sitting across from him. A mob boss is my best customer. Former mob boss. Mostly. I still have connections, resources, power. But I use them differently now. Legitimately, legally, boring even. Boring is good. Boring is safe. Boring is what you taught me to value. Safety, peace, normalcy. Maya reached across the table, touching his hand lightly. You taught me something too. That everyone deserves a second chance. That change is possible. That kindness can transform even the darkest situations. I'm not transformed. I'm just less broken. We're all a little broken. The question is what we do about it. Minjun looked at this remarkable woman who'd seen a sad stranger and offered him chocolate, who'd changed his entire trajectory with one simple human gesture. What you said to me that first night, you look sad, get yourself a snack, that was the most important thing anyone's ever said to me. Really? That? Really? Because it meant you saw me, not my reputation, not my power, just me. A sad person who needed kindness. No one had done that in years. Then more people should, because everyone deserves to be seen. They sat in the quiet cafe, two people who'd found unexpected connection in a dark. Outside, the city continued its chaos. But inside, for 1 hour each evening, there was only peace and chocolate and two souls who'd reminded each other that humanity still matters.
This
The
is
city
delicious.
would never forget.
I'm so glad
a
you're
simple
enjoying
act of
it.
kindness had
It's perfect,
changed
thank you.
everything.
Anytime.